This is a Swift Archway Sport 216BB. Just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. In front of the van you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll take you through these in person here on site. In the front locker you've got your gas bottle with your on-off valve on top. So essentially you've got gas on the open side and gas off on the closed side. So as you can see, clockwise to turn the gas supply off and anti-clockwise to turn the gas supply on. The fitment that goes into the bottle is a reverse thread fitment, so you'd actually turn it the opposite way to a standard thread or a standard bottle cap, for instance, to release the thread going into the bottle itself. On the off side of the caravan, you've got your heating and hot water flow. This is essentially the same as the flow you've got on the side of your house. You'd never cover this up and you'd always leave it open as it is at the moment. It does create a bit of heat, so be careful when you are near it. On either side at the front of the van, you have your wind down legs to stabilise the caravan. Like I said, they are just there for stabilising rather than lifting the van. You just put them down on the ground so they touch the floor. If you lifted the caravan with these, it could potentially damage the floor of the van. So then you've got your water connection. Very simply, pull back the blue trigger and push it into the side of the van. The pickup pipe itself drops down inside the aqua roll. The battery is in place with the two terminals on top, and then you've got your mains power lead coming to the side of the caravan, and you've also got your motor mover power switch in the back of here. The motor mover and wheel nuts, we'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site, and we'll also torque the wheel nuts to the correct setting prior to the van leaving. On the side of the van you've got your toilet flush tank. You need to put the key in and open it up, and you'll put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid. You've also then got your toilet lock here. Again, you'd open this up. Got an orange handle on the bottom of the cassette to release the cassette and pull it out. There's a neck on the top you can turn out so the waste can be tipped away. The orange cap that's on that cassette is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. And on the back of the cassette you have an orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. You've then got your storage locker on the back side of the... You need to put 1 litre of water in there and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. And below that you have your waste water, which isn't your toilet waste. That goes, you put 2 bits of grey pipe into these large diameter holes and they'll drop down inside your waste master. Back of the caravan you have your wind down legs on either side to stabilise the van, and again they are just there for stabilising rather than lifting the caravan. On the door side you have your 2 fridge vents that allow hot air at the back of the fridge unit and take some cool air in, and also there's a gas flue behind the top vent for the fridge operation on gas. You've then got your 2 30-pin sockets so you can have power coming out to your awning on the outside of the van. And at the front of the caravan you have your barbecue gas point and your last wind down leg. Going inside the caravan now. So once you're inside the caravan you'll find above the door itself the main power button for the van. So we've got power on. You've got an indicator to say that you've got mains power coming from the post outside into the caravan. So the post is where the connection is on site. You've got your leisure battery voltage on the left hand side. You've got your water pump, which we'll come back to in a moment. You've got a view level button just here, so it brings up the level on this side and on the vehicle battery. And then you've got also an orange light that appears on the car when you're connected the car to the caravan. So that is your main control panel for the caravan. Once the power's turned on, you can come into the box on the right hand side front of the caravan underneath the seating area, and in here you will find your mains control unit itself for the caravan. Just going to take you through this. You've got your master system shutdown, so if you want to isolate all the power on board the caravan you can hit that button and it'll pop up to isolate that power. You've then got your 12 volt fuses here, and these are literally for the 12 volt systems on board the caravan. You have your reverse polarity when you're in some European countries, your 12 volt battery charger, your heating and hot water system, and a spare fuse on the end. One way of testing to see if you have power coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on is by hitting the test switch here. If this test switch drops down as it has done, that means there is mains power coming into the van. If you hit that switch and it doesn't drop down, it means there is no power coming from the site you are on into the caravan. Again, you've got 3 other breaker switches here, and in the front of this cupboard you will actually see on the door that there is a list on the right hand side of what each of the breaker switches are for. or trip switches are for, and then also what each of the 12 volt fuses is for on board the caravan on the left hand side. In this compartment also, down on the left hand side, you'll see the yellow drain down valve. Now that yellow drain down valve needs to be parallel with the floor as it is at the moment before you fill the water system up on board the caravan. If that valve is upright and pointing towards the screen, or pointing towards us as it was, then that would mean all of the water would be drained out onto the floor underneath the van and the water system would not fill up. So like I said, parallel with the floor prior to filling the system. Once you have that valve parallel with the floor, you can come over to every tap on board the caravan, open them all up on the hot side of the water system, and then you'll come over to the main control panel above the door and hit the water pump button. You'll notice then at that point the water system starts to fill up. Once that water system is completely full, you can then shut all of the taps off on board the caravan. So that's the tap in the kitchen, and then you go back through to the one in the bathroom. You'd also do the shower as well. The system is actually already full on this van at the moment because I've already set it up. But like I said, that is the way you'd fill the system. So you fill it up completely with water till water is coming out of all the taps, then shut all of the taps off. At that point, you can start thinking about warming the water on board the caravan. And that is where the second control panel above the door comes in. This is the home screen essentially for your heating and hot water system. You press the middle button. And the first option that's flashing just here on the left hand side is your room temperature. So I'll press the button in and then I can spin the dial to where I want the room temperature to be. So essentially if I want 30 degrees of heating, I can select 30 degrees of heating by pressing the central button, and that is what the caravan will warm up to. Coming across to the right here, you have your water temperature. So you've got water off, 40, 60 and boost for the water system on board the caravan. So 40 degrees is for when you're just wanting to keep the water warm on board the van, 60 for if you're washing up for instance, and then boost for when you are showering. Again, you'd set the water temperature by hitting the central button, and as you can see here, it'll come up at the top saying the water system is now boosting. The next icon across that you see just here is the power source you want the heating and hot water to run from. So you have gas as a sole power source. You'd have to turn the gas bottle on first. We would advise before you try to ignite anything like the heating or hot water on gas that you get the gas through on the hob by just igniting the hob for a few seconds, because that is the last point on the gas system. You've then got the option of mix 1, which is 1000 watts of power and gas at the same time. Mix 2, which is 2000 watts of power and gas at the same time. Electric 1, which is 1000 watts of power on its own. And electric 2, 2000 watts of power on its own. So to select electric 1, you'll hit the power button and that'll select the power source that you want to use. That will depend on what site you're on to what you select on that section of the control panel. If you want to use the blown air heating, you can also do that by selecting the blown air option on the right hand side here. You'll press the central button in, and then you've got eco or high for your fan speed. If you want to set it as eco, you can set it as eco, which is a bit like the low option in your car. Then high is a bit like the fast option in your car for the fan system. Down the bottom of the screen here, you have 3 other options. You have a timer for your heating and hot water, which we advise you read the manual for this. The same as the clock and the advanced settings on the right hand side. But like I said, you can set programs for your heating and hot water just in here should you wish to. But again, we do advise you read the manual. The reason being, if I tried to explain it in a video, it'd probably take me around 2 to 3 hours to explain. You've then got the fridge itself. To turn the fridge on, you've got the power button on the right hand side here. The left hand side here, so you press the power button on. You then have your grey button here, which allows you to change the power source you want to use. So at the moment we're on gas. We'll go over to 240 volt to start with. You press the grey button to select the power source you want to use. Then you'll notice the temperature starts flashing on the right hand side. Again, you can use the arrows to select the temperature you want the fridge to be. And when you've got the temperature selected, hit the grey button and you'll see the fridge starts working on the 240 mains, and as I've set it on the coldest setting. The 12 volt mode is the 12 volt mode from the car you are towing with. So essentially if I select this, the fridge will work as a cool box. It will not work off the 12-volt system on board the caravan. It is just the 12-volt system from the car you are towing with. And the temperature control is irrelevant at that point, as it will not allow you to change temperature on 12-volt mode. Gas mode, again, you'd make sure the gas is turned on in the front locker. Press the grey button and it will self-ignite on gas, and again you control the temperature on the button on the right hand side. If it fails to ignite, it'll actually flash both of these simultaneously to let you know the fridge has failed to ignite. To turn the fridge back off, you'll press and hold the power button on the left hand side and the fridge will go back to its off position. Microwave, hob, grill and oven all do work very much the same as your household appliances, no differences at all there, and are very simple to use with your igniter on the front of the cooker. Toilet system in the bathroom, again, is very simple to use. You have an electric flush, just here on top. You have a toilet full indicator light. This light here will illuminate red when the toilet waste cassette underneath the van is completely full. The toilet seat itself, you will need to make sure when you remove the cassette from underneath the caravan that it is in the position it is in now. So going straight back with the back of the toilet seat area. If you turn the seat and you try to remove the cassette from underneath the van, it will actually lock the toilet waste cassette in place and not allow you to remove it from underneath the van. The grey handle below the toilet seat itself, when you have it open for instance, will allow the waste to go into the cassette underneath the van. And when you are finished using the lube, we do advise it's back in the central position. You will also need to make sure this flap is back in the central position when you try to remove the waste cassette from underneath the van, because again it will lock that cassette in place. So this is the Swift Archway Sport 216 BB. If you have any further questions on the van, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect the van. Bye bye.